Hello and welcome everyone. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of language, unraveling language structure, especially exploring the complexity of syntax. Welcome to the Analysis Syntax in English Linguistics. This presentation aims to provide a comprehensive understanding of the structure of English sentences, also aims to explore rules and patterns that govern them, and the complexity of sentence formation, examining the role of syntax in communication. First of all, we need to understand from where did syntax came in the first place. So, language is a system of communication that involves the use of words, symbols, and sounds to convey meaning. It's a fundamental aspect of human interaction and knowledge, and it's categorized as phonology, morphology, semantics, and what we're going to talk about today, syntax, which is sentence structure. What is syntax? Syntax refers to the set of rules that govern how words are combined to form things such as phrases, clauses, and sentences. To let us understand more the language, it deals with the arrangement of words to create meaningful expressions in order for us to communicate. And according to Noam Chomsky, it is the study of the principles and processes by which sentences are constructed in particular languages. Let's dive into the basics of syntax, which include understanding parts of speech, word order, sentence structure, and phrase structure. It involves the arrangement of words to form meaningful sentences in English. So, understanding syntax is essential in linguistics, and we will explore the role of each and every part of it in order to understand how sentences are formed in English language. Just like each player has a specific role in a sports team, each word in a sentence has a specific job. These roles are defined by parts of speech, which categorize words based on their function. For example, nouns name people, places, things, or ideas. Like they are words help us to refer to people, objects, or creatures. For example, boy, bag, bird, Venus, rain. But verbs expresses actions or states of being. They are like go, woke, have, be, has. Adverbs are words usually used with verbs to provide more information. Adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, or even other adverbs, telling us how, when, where, or what. Example: slowly, yesterday, really, very. But adjectives used with nouns to provide more information. It describes noun adding details to it, like happy, large, strange. Understanding the parts of speech helps us assemble sentence with clarity and prescription, ensuring that each word fulfills its intended purpose to convey meaning. In every language, the order in which we arrange words within a sentence is very crucial. It's like following a recipe. If you mix up the steps, you might end up with something entirely different. For example, in English, we use a typically specific order, but it's not like we have to obligate to it. We use subject, verb, object, order. But first, we need to understand what is subject and what is verb and what is object. Subject is the main noun or pronoun in the sentence that performs the action or, or what is described by the verb. It is the answer to the question who or what the sentence is about. Meanwhile, verb is the action word or even words in the sentence that expresses what the subject is doing. It is the action or state of being in the sentence. But object is the noun or pronoun affected by the action of the verb. It answers the question whom or what the subject is doing to. For example, the cat chased the rat. The cat is the subject, chased is the verb, the rat is the object. But in other languages like Japanese or Latin, the word order can be different and the meaning can change accordingly. So, word order mainly helps us catch the meaning of the sentence and expresses ourselves clearly. It's the backbone of syntax, laying the foundation for effective communication in English language. After explaining words and how they come in order to form a sentence, let's come to know sentences types because sentences comes in various forms and each serves a different purpose in communication. So let's explore the differences between them. Sentences comes into three categories: simple, compound, and complex sentences to enhance our understanding of effective writing and speaking. Let's begin with simple sentences. A simple sentence consists of one independent clause, which contains a subject and a verb and expresses a complete thought on its own, so it can stand alone. It's typically presented a single idea or only a specific one action. For example, the sun shines brightly. It's a complete sentence that can stand alone. But compound sentence consists of two or even more independent clauses joined by a coordinating conjunctions such as and, but, or not coordinating conjunctions but simply a punctuation marks like a semicolons. Each independent clause can stand alone as a separate sentence. For example, the sun shines brightly and the bird sing joyfully. The two sentences can stand alone and form a single idea Complex sentences, the last type we have, is a complex sentence from its own title, a sentence that contains one independent clause and at least two dependent clauses, which cannot stand alone as a complete sentence. Meanwhile, dependent clauses are introduced by subordinated conjunctions such as because, although, or while. Complex sentences show relationships between ideas, such as a case and effective meaning for a sentence that can stand alone. For example, although sun shines brightly, some people prefer the shade. Syntactic rules and constraints. Syntactic rules are like grammar guidelines. They provide the framework for constructing English sentences correctly. These rules dictate how words can be arranged to form grammatically sound sentences, ensuring clarity and coherence in communication. By following these principles, we will avoid confusion and ambiguity in our language. Think of them as guidelines that keep our sentences on track, guiding us towards effective expressions. Understanding and applying these rules also empowers us to communicate with confidence and more clarity in order for anyone to understand what we're saying. We will explore the phrase structure and syntactic ambiguity that influence syntax by understanding the syntactic rules and constraints. As we deconstruct sentences to understand their inner group of words, that work together to convey a single idea, we will understand that phrase structure involves recognizing the different types of phrases and how they function within the sentence itself. So, there are several types of phrases, including noun phrase, verb phrase, adjective phrase, adverb phrase, and prepositional phrase. But first, let's start with noun phrase. Okay, noun phrase, these consist of noun and any other words that modify it, such as adjectives or determiners. For example, the big red apple is a noun phrase where the and the word the and the big and red modify the noun apple. So there are a group of words centered around a noun or a pronoun, or maybe it can be a pronoun, along with any words that modify or describe it, serving as subjects, objects, or complements in a sentence. Moving to verb phrases, these phrases include the main verb and any auxiliary verbs or complements that accompany it. For instance, in the sentence, she is reading a book. Is reading is the verb phrase completed by the noun book. So there are a verb phrase, is a group of words centered around a verb along with any words that complement or modify it, serving as predicates in a sentence indicating actions or status of being. Moving to the third type we have, which is adjective phrases. Adjective phrases are groups of words centered around an adjective. They provide an additional information about nouns or pronouns in the sentence. Adjective phrases can include other adjectives, adverbs, or even other phrases to modify the adjective. For example, the incredibly talented singer captivated the audience. Incredibly talented is the adjective phrase modifying the noun, the singer that we have. So these phrases consist of an adjective and any words that modify it, such as adverbs or any other adjectives. Another example, very beautiful, is an adjective phrase where very modifies the adjective beautiful. For the next type we have, which is adverb phrases. Adverb phrases are groups of words centered around an adverb. They modify verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs by providing information about how, when, where, or to what to do, to extend an action or state occurs. Adverb phrases can include other adverbs or even adverbial phrases. For example, she ran very quickly to catch the bus. Very quickly is the adverb phrase, modifying the verb ran. So, adverb phrases are phrases include an adverb and any other words that modify it, such as other adverbs or adverbial phrases. For another example, he ran very quickly. Very quickly is an adverb phrase modifying the verb ran. The last type we have is prepositional phrases. Prepositional phrases begin with a prepositional and typically include a noun or a pronoun called the object of the preposition, along with any other modifiers. Prepositional phrases function as adverbs or adjectives, providing additional information about the noun or pronouns or adjectives or even verbs. For example, in the sentence, the book on the table. On the table is the prepositional phrase, where on is the preposition and table is the object, modifying the verb is. So prepositional phrases are phrases that begin with a preposition and include noun or pronoun called the object preposition, along with modifiers. Like, for example, another example, the cat is on the table. On the table is the prepositional phrase, where on is preposition and table is the object. So, understanding the structure and the function of phrases help us to analyze sentences more effectively and identify how different elements contribute to the overall meaning. It enables us to construct sentences with clarity and prescription, ensuring that each phrase contributes meaningfully to the expression of ideas. Syntactic ambiguity. Syntactic ambiguity is what occurs when a sentence can be interrupted in multiple ways because of its structure or grammar. This ambiguity arises when the arrangement of words or phrases allows us for more than one possible interpretation, leading to confusion or misunderstanding. And this is why we study syntax. But how do we avoid it? Is there a certain strategies? Yes, this is why we explained what we explained from order, a word order to sentence structure to phrase structure. We avoid it by using clear syntax. Use of clear syntax means sentence structure, correct sentence structure in a way that leaves no misunderstanding for the listener. Also, punctuation. Use of proper punctuation such as comma, semicolons, and even parentheses can help us clearly understand the relation between words and phrases within a sentence. Also, rephrasing and context. Those are things that help us to avoid ambiguous words and ambiguity in syntax. By employing these strategies, writers and speakers and listeners can reduce the likelihood of syntactic ambiguity and ensure that their messages are conveyed clearly and effectively. You may ask yourself how syntactic ambiguity happens. So I will give you an example explaining it. So, I saw the man with the telescope. This sentence can be interrupted in two ways. The first one, the speaker saw a man who was holding a telescope. The speaker used a telescope to see the man. The ambiguity arises from the placement of prepositional phrase with the telescope, which can modify either the man or so, leading to two different interpretations of the sentence. This is why we use the strategies I mentioned in the slide before on how to avoid syntactic ambiguity. So, in conclusion, this presentation has provided us a comprehensive analysis in syntax English language, diving into the parts of speech, word order, sentence structure. Through understanding syntactic rules and phrase structure, we gain insight into how language is really structured and how meaning is conveyed to avoid any ambiguity and avoid any misunderstanding. So, reminding us of the complexity and richness of language as we continue to unravel its mystery, let us appreciate the beauty of language in all its form. I hope today we understood a lot of things that were a big trouble for most of us to understand, since a lot of people see linguistics as a very, let us say, complicated. I hope this was easy to digest and you understood it. For any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me anything. I will leave you